Alright guys, Jameson and Alex here. Today we're just going to give you a quick little preview, update, insight into our latest digital zine issue, which is number 5. So this is the 5th one we've come out with. This is for the Inksworn Volume 2, so it's the second one dealing with the Inksworn faction.
The 5th episode, but it's Volume 2 of the Inksworn faction. So.
Yes. Stay with us here. So yeah,
2 numbers.
Yes, the main features in this issue. First, we have a little bit of lore and stuff about some of the, religious orders and things. This is the first religious order, which is the Bespoken. With them, their big thing is, tied into the ancient, mysterious race of people that existed before current times and stuff like that. Yep. We also have a little short story, which is part 1 of we're going to do a short story series leading up to a big event in the world of Terrantal, so stay tuned for that. If you're into that kind of thing, it's just a fun little thing I wanted to do because I write the short stories. But to lead up to some big stuff that we want to unveil further down the line with our campaign setting. But on here, the biggest feature, of course, for us, we love subclasses, so we have a subclass, which is a rogue subclass, and we call this one the Fate-Etched Rogue. So, this is something a lot of these subclasses we have been working on for a long time. At least, I remember doing drafts last year, last summer, or even 2 summers ago. Mm-hmm. That, man, time flies, doesn't it? Gosh, getting old. Yeah. So, man, lots of stuff on here. And this one, we took a lot of inspiration. There was some subclasses we reviewed that dealt with, dealing with sneak attack dice and, manipulating those. But I think the biggest thing for me was took inspiration from the Rogue in World of Warcraft and the whole combo point system. Yes. So we kind of took that idea and we're like, what if we had combo points in 5th edition and how would that work and function? Yeah. And essentially you get different abilities based on... you can spend some hit dice. You can reduce the damage to add extra effects to your abilities. For example, we have Hemorrhage, which applies a bleed effect. Kidney Shot, which is going to apply a stun. And then some ways to deal extra damage. Some ways to do some area of effect damage as well.
AoE sneak attack.
Yeah, so some cool options on there. And that's just the base foundation. And the thing that's cool with how that works is as you level up, you obviously get more sneak attack die, which means... you get access to more combo points. Yep. So it's kind of got this innate built-in scaling system, which I thought actually, in my head it sounded cool, but then once we actually started building it, I'm like, this scales on its own, which is awesome. I loved it. So it's one of my favorite ones.
We were going over the idea for kind of creating this and kind of talking through how we were going to try to balance a lot of these numbers and everything. Mm-hmm. I think when I saw his face kind of light up, I was like, we don't have to. We don't have to scale it.
Because you only have so many sneak attack dice.
It does it itself. I was like, oh yeah, it kind of does, doesn't it?
Because at low levels, you don't have, 6 sneak attack dice. You only have 3 or 4, which means you can't cast or you can't upgrade your abilities more than, 2 or 3 points because they're just doing no damage or whatever. So
you're only getting the effect, which you technically could do.
Yeah, you could.
If you wanted to forego sneak attack damage to try to get that stun off.
Yeah, a higher chance to hit that stun.
You can.
And yeah, that's just... your first ability. Nice. So, of course, you get some other cool stuff with here, some crowd control stuff, some ways to maybe give you more combo points, things like that, some ways to manipulate those, and some ways to really turn the tides of fate in your favor. So, one of my favorite subclasses that I've been heavily involved with.
Oh, yeah.
Love this one.
We do also have a race in here as well.
Yes.
The chameleon-based race.
Yes.
So
Cameleo.
Very, and again, the artwork done by our cohort is again fantastic because we used the race that Jameson made, the Cameleo race, and put that in with his artwork. So you get the new subclass with the new race art and
double dip a little
together,
bit.
all for wonderful bits. There are some very well crafted magic items, if I do say so myself.
I particularly I have to mention this one because I love this one. There's a halberd, which you don't really see a whole lot of halberds in first, and so Alex helped come up with that one, the base ideas for that, and then of course it's kind of like one of us has an idea, and then it's like, okay, we gotta tweak it, make it balanced, maybe change some things so it's not too much like some other stuff or whatever, make it more unique because we like to do stuff that's maybe more outside of the normal, and not just be like stuff that you would see on any normal event. Like, for example, I have to throw this one in because it's just probably one of the weirdest things we've done was back in issue 2 of Sanguinarian Volume 1 when we did the Exsanguinator, which is a magic item which it could like pull hit dice from creatures and you could use it to heal other creatures. And that one was just so weird. But I really liked it because you don't see anything ever talk about dealing with hit dice of other creatures. So stuff like that, where we want to try to add in extra features or maybe give little things, like little like cursed items, but the curse isn't like gonna destroy you. You know what I mean? Like just small little things like
disintegrate into dust.
If you do this one thing, something happens, but it's very particular. So just to add some extra flavor and fun to those items.
I had the idea for the halberd, and be forewarned, if you like the idea of seeing some of the less used weapon types in the game, I have made a very specific target on that very subject. I'm thinking like, why are there not like any magic halberds in the game? Oh, there's not. Let's fix that problem.
Yes.
And I have been targetingly addressing that issue.
I particularly am very keen on making a magic net. No one ever uses nets because they're awful.
Because they're useless.
But if we can make something cool, who knows? It's on the list for sure.
Yeah, there may or may not be one in the works for an issue, not this, either the next issue or the one after that.
It sounds more like an ascendant, kind of like a martial, kind of feel to it. Each of these 4 factions have their own kind of theme and flavor that go along with them. So we try to add some stuff that ties into that.
And I even want to do a subclass that focuses on the net too. We're just going to lean into it.
Yes,
because I already kind of have an idea for that. Anyway.
Yes.
Also some spells. You've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. All spells themed around, again, the Inksworn. We're doing oozes and goos and pools and stuff.
Yes.
All scary.
All dealing with the ichor and, ink, magic ink wells and things like that. That ties in with the Inksworn faction.
Yes.
And then kind of the last thing on here, too, if you were familiar or watched our Inksworn Volume 1 video, we have monster augments, which there's a creature type called the Consumed, which is essentially when you come into contact with this magical ichor, there's one of 2 outcomes that are possible. One is you're able to control it and use its power to enhance you, and you would become part of the faction of the Inksworn, probably becoming one of these subclasses. The not-so-great alternative is it takes control of you and you become consumed.
Yep.
Acting kind of like a zombie thing controlled by whatever this mysterious
skeleton or ghoul, you're this amalgamation of
creature. Yes.
Inky oozy crap.
So with this one, we added some new traits. So I call them monster augments. Basically, you can take any monster and it gives you extra traits you can add or abilities like basic traits, bonus actions, reactions, actions, all that kind of stuff that you can just add on to any monster to like reflavor it, give it some more difficulty, some more uniqueness.
It's one of these things, like the number one thing when Jameson kind of thought up this idea, I thought this is a great way to find, to kind of throw off your metagaming players. Like, well, I know what a wolf does.
Which of those wolf shoots out like a vomit of black ichor that
like,
restrains creatures and stuff.
And also, if you've just got monsters you like that are either just kind of fun, they're funny, whatever else, but you'd like them to be a little bit more challenging, give them some more movement speed.
Yeah.
And give them the ability just to use their own bonus action, give them some advantage on their next attack.
Just give them some things just to spice it up a little bit and throw your players off when they might be expecting it. And maybe throw in some a little bit of terror where, this thing looks normal, but then all of a sudden you hit it and then this abomination of like a limb pops out and it's flailing around and you're like, oh, that is not normal. Like, I just think of like,
not supposed to be there.
Speaking of like Resident Evil 4 just had its remake come out and the thing where the thing pops. Yeah. For those of you who've played Resident Evil, but I don't want to go too far into that. Yes, I don't want to get Alex too lost in here. He's not a scary person. And of course on here too, I have one example of a modified monster, which this one is a consumed direwolf. Last time we had.
Why did I mention wolves before?
Yeah, right. So yeah, some cool stuff with that. I particularly like it just because one of my biggest pet peeves with 5th edition is just boring monsters.
There's a lot of them.
So I like to just add extra abilities and stuff like that to spice it up for the players. So I thought I'd create this whole system and maybe maybe I'll expand it out and have other things besides that consumed. If you guys are interested in that kind of stuff, please let us know. But it's definitely one of the core things to this Inksworn based on their mysterious Ichor origins. So that'll be something we'll see more of for sure, at the very least. But yeah, lots of stuff on here. We're going to have more issues coming out. The next one will be the Sanguinarian. It will be a Paladin subclass with that. So if you want to, get head start on looking into some of that,
Did
check
someone
out.
say Blood Paladin?
Yeah.
I think they did.
So Patreon, definitely something worth checking out if you're interested in this kind of stuff. We'll have links to that down below. And we also have, for some of you, coming out soon, should be, we call it the Channeler Artificer, which is a gem / magical elemental artificer subclass, which is going to be free. Excuse me.
Yes.
Because of the way the OGL stuff works with Artificer is very complicated. That's why you don't see many subclasses for it. So it will be free as kind of a way to get an idea of the kind of content we make and just give you guys something fun.
That's coming soon.
Yes, as a thank you for following our channel, checking out our stuff.
We're in like final testing phase on that, just to make sure there's nothing that's either we've missed or something we haven't thought of with that.
And I'll say one thing too is we always take feedback into consideration. So if we feel like, we really missed something, we will errata and reissue an updated version of the PDF. And we've already done that, I think, a couple times. They're mostly just minor things like, add in a little bit more flavor text or something. But we'll just add in on Patreon for free, just updated version.
Yeah,
so
for
sure. Nothing is set in stone.
Yeah, and if you noticed about like our ability to do that, modify things, and we miss it. Go, why'd you guys miss this? I was like, well, we're human.
Yes.
We make mistakes. And also, if you look at the credits on the top, we have one artist who helps us do like our main subclass art.
Yes.
And then there are 3 other names on the entire thing.
Yes.
And we're 2 of them.
Yes.
And then one of our other guys in our play group is the 3rd person. That's it. That's our entire crew of people that help us create all this stuff.
Yeah. So we're bound to miss some things like, we didn't think about that interaction originally. So we need to go back and revisit that and update that. But yeah, so that's something we always keep in mind. Try to keep things interesting and fun as well. So again, Patreon, link down below. Make sure you check that out. Yep. As always, guys, thanks for watching.